Thank you for being here today. I'm going to get started. It's the Beach and Shoreline Review Workshop for the fiscal year 26-27. It's April 23rd, and I'm Cecil Pendergrass. We'll go ahead and do roll call.
Commissioner Pendergrass.
Here.
Pamela Cronin. Jay Johnson.
Present.
Bill Wachulis.
Afternoon.
Councilman Steinke, Brian Kramer, Rob Wells, Tony Lappy, and Holly Smith are excused. Oh, and Scott is here. Great, thank
He's
you.
behind the pole the whole time. You just couldn't see him. Good, thank you. This time we'll go to Beach and Shoreline funding, sources, and eligibility. Andrea?
Good afternoon. The purpose and intent of Section 125.0104 Florida statutes is what we're here to sort of go over today. Based on the statute, the only thing we can use TDC funds for is to provide for the advancement, generation, growth, and promotion of tourism, the enhancement of the tourism industry, and the attraction of tourists from within and outside of the state to a particular area or county of the state. We have two subsections that we rely on in 125.0104, that's Section 5A and Section B. They set forth the purposes for which the tax may be used. It limits the expenditure of TDT funds to those that are stated explicitly and therefore to the exclusion of other items. The governing body of the county, which starts with the TDC, must make a legislative determination that the expenditure of tourist development tax revenue is for the purpose that falls within the authorized uses. Now, how do you make a legislative determination? Projects financed by the proceeds from tourist development tax must be primarily related to the advancement and promotion of tourism. The determination of whether a particular facility or project is tourist-related and primarily promotes such a purposes as tourism is a factual determination that must be made by you all and ratified by the Board of County Commissioners. This factual determination must be made based on the appropriate findings and due consideration of the peculiar and prevailing local conditions and needs. TDT funds may be used if the county makes the requisite findings that such expenditure will promote tourism or to finance beach park facilities, shoreline protection, enhancement, cleanup, erosion control, maintenance, renourishment or restoration of those areas as it relates to the physical preservation of the beach. That is for Section 5A and 5B under 125.0104. You will notice that I said nothing about nature centers because that is another section of the Florida statute. Even there must be some legislative determinations made if you want to finance those. But currently under the county ordinance, it says beach park, says beach and shoreline funding. That's what it's supposed to be used for. Under the statute, doesn't necessarily include nature centers, but that does not mean you cannot fund them. I'm finished. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next, we will go into program budget. Nancy.
So we're going to produce, just a minute, this is the, can you go to the presentation? Do the little slideshow. This is the estimated revenue for fiscal year 27. The bed tax revenue is estimated to be $50 million, and 26.4% of that goes to the Beach and Shoreline program. So that's $13.2 million. When you back out the management expenses, the proposed budget for beach and shoreline projects, $12,909,962. So that is the budget for everything in the beach and shoreline column on our worksheet, which we'll show you in just a second. If you want to go to the next slide, Audrey. Because there are some projects that could be funded with TDT dollars, not from beach and shoreline, this is the reserve budget. If you choose to fund anything not in the beach and shoreline box, you would need to pull from reserves. It would need to be a request for the BOCC to consider. So that's your reserve number.
I do want to add that on Tuesday, the board approved a year 3 of funding for the chambers, which would take $460,000 out of that reserve number. That action hasn't happened yet, so this is the number before that action happens. So just keep that in mind. You're down $460,000 on that number out of the gate.
So it's the cost of managing the program. We have a electronic grant salaries and also the grant portal that they use. There's a cost to that, and yeah.
Got it.
Operating expenses.
Operating
and
expenses,
salaries.
okay.
Yeah. Staff salaries,
Money well spent.
managing the program.
And Nancy, what's it say at the bottom of that slide, or are we not supposed to see the bottom of that?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Oh, those are my notes, I guess, yeah, so, anyway, yeah, I can't see all of them, but last year you pulled $17.9 million from reserves, just for context. The bulk of that were beach and shoreline projects that needed to be fixed because of the
Hurricane, yeah.
So there was only like 1 million that could have been from that other nature center pot, but,
Okay.
just wanted to provide you that context. Yeah, 8.3 came from the B portion. So it was a big chunk. Okay, we're going to go to the, Commissioner, did you want to say anything else? Or?
No, go ahead.
You want to move into the projects discussion then? Okay, you can put the spreadsheet up. So Audrey's going to help. If you didn't know, all of you that apply for funding, Audrey pays your bills. So you need to get to know her. This is the spreadsheet we're going to work with this year. The first column is what you've requested. The second column is the ineligible amount based on the county attorney's opinion. And the third column is the beach and shoreline request. So there's $12.9 million. Audrey will pop in the TDC recommendation column, anything you want to fund from beach and shoreline. The final column is the requested amount that could be considered, but it would have to be a reserve pull. So if the TDC, as you move through this afternoon, if you decide to recommend anything from reserves, she will unhide that final column so we can keep track. Okay, so the first request is the beach and shoreline, the Beach Renourishment Trust Fund, submitted by Natural Resources for $4 million.
How much currently sits in that fund?
That will be a Steve question. On the status report in the Dropbox I provided, Steve, do you have that number?
I know it doesn't all get used in 1 year, and it moves around a little bit.
Yeah, it does move around actually a lot. Steve Boutel of Natural Resources. One of the things that back-to-back hurricanes have done to us is kind of, unfortunately, put all of our beach projects in more or less a synchronous timeline. Some of that we can take advantage of to be able to get maybe some partnerships on projects and the way they're put together, but it also means it's going to be a really big hit coming up all like in the same year. And so right now, if I look at what's in that fund, 1 second, sorry. Right now, we're looking at about $6.5 million unallocated in that fund total.
Steve, the monitoring, obviously Sanibel's next with the monitoring, but you're, in your number, you're doing the monitoring for like Fort Myers Beach, Captiva, for grant money?
So every project that's done has a permit required monitoring component that's necessary in order to build that shoreline project. And so that will be done by whatever sponsor that is. So CEPD out on Captiva, Town of Fort Myers Beach on Estero Island. But that is built in. And I think I'm comfortable saying all of those do have some state grant component that helps to offset those costs. So we're only paying a portion of it for the required monitoring. Sanibel's is a little different because it's not required, and in fact, we will also, in an off year, say, it's very typical for the state permit to say you have to monitor in years 1, 2, 3, and 5. Okay, well, year 4, we'll still monitor that, and we'll use our local funds to do that because it maintains continuity of the record, and that's necessary if you're going to have a FEMA claim, for example. And that turned out to be huge on Sanibel, Fort Myers Beach, Bonita a little bit, and Lover's Key as well.
But so in the 4 million plus the 6.5, Sanibel's not in that monitoring, so
No,
it
theirs
needs
would
to be
be,
separate.
they do theirs separately, that's
Okay.
right. Ours is really strictly for those permitted beach nourishment projects that are kind of managed under that Chapter 161 Florida statute program.
I'm fine moving that over to eligible. It's the number one reason everybody comes to Lee County, so.
Any concerns?
I don't have any. I agree with Bill. I know. Yep, I think we're good.
Let's go ahead and plug it in. It sounds like a consensus.
A lot more than that.
A little bit more, a few more zeros.
There you go.
The
I
next
mean, the next one, I would go ahead and I recommend that if you need grant money, you gotta do it, so.
Same.
And they've got matching funds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got no issues actually with the first 4.
So City of Sanibel, $50,000 moved
Yeah.
over? Yeah. Okay, the next request is the Barrier Island Park Society for $63,150.
I'll speak up. I have no issues. I'd move it over.
Yeah, they're less than last year, and they got a match, so.
Exactly. I had the same thing. I had no issues.
Scott?
On the first 4, I thought were the easy ones. And we go downhill from there.
Okay, the next request is from Captiva Erosion Prevention District for Allison Hagerup Beach Park, $264,000.
Again, I have no issues moving it over.
Yeah, they just said we have to do the legislative finding on the utility vehicle assistance program.
And we'll do the legislative findings at your May meeting.
Yeah.
Good.
But if you have questions about what's written in there, you can bring it up then. So we're going to move to 64. The next request is the City of Cape Coral's Beach Park Facility Maintenance Request for $798,768. There was a portion ineligible because there was some parks that are currently closed. They need to be open to be funded. And there was another portion, I believe, eligible under the other part of the statute because they're environmental parks. Do you have any questions?
This was a huge jump from last year.
Yeah, if someone's here, I've got questions. My first question was, the last 11 years, we've averaged 245,000. This is a 300% increase. I think that's where you were going, right?
Yes. So what we're wondering is why the big jump from year over year?
Good afternoon, Board. We are adding a couple of new parks to the program. Right now, we are about to open JC Park, which is scheduled to be opened on April 30th of this year. Tropicana Park is planned to be opened by May 30th of this year. And then Yellow Fever Creek, I know it's not opened at this point, but we plan to have all the repairs that need to be due from the contractor done by the time this funding comes available. So we're really just adding new parks, we're adding new things as we go on. Since I've been here, we've opened up over 9 new parks, and 3 of those are on the shoreline.
Are the parks for the residents or are they for the tourists?
They're for the residents and tourists. I mean, the JC Park's on a riverfront, Tropicana Park is on our spreader, and then Yellow Fever Creek is a natural preserve that has hiking trails. It will have an environmental center, and a lot of other things that are bringing in attractions to the city that we currently don't have in the northern part of our community.
So does Yellow Fever Park fall under beach and shoreline, does it fall under nature centers?
That would be probably the nature one, I would think, yeah.
Yellow fever is,
Nature center.
yes.
And we funded some of that,
Capital.
we funded some capital last year for that.
Years ago?
No, 2 years ago.
And
Years?
maintenance, but they have not been reimbursed because the park is not open.
Okay,
Correct, yep.
so this being the first request that includes nature park, I'm of the opinion that we need to treat those separate, that they, beach and shoreline is beach and shoreline. And I'm concerned about constantly dipping into reserves for nature center, because reserves, in my mind, the way reserves work, are there for emergencies or things that we're ready for that next disaster.
Yeah, like after hurricane.
Like after a hurricane, and I'm perfectly okay with funding replacing a pier that was destroyed, replacing a park that was destroyed, but I worry about building a new park and then the ongoing maintenance of it as under something that, as a county, we don't account for in our funding mechanisms. We either have to take money away from beach and shoreline, or we need to redo how the monies get divided that come in from bed tax.
I wasn't here the last couple of workshops, over the last couple of years, so but I was concerned, because like you said, are these for residents or are they for tourists? Some of these parks I've lived all my life, I don't know where they're at, but the point is, I know you can get to them from any road, but are they like easily accessible? Would a tourist come here, land to go to the airport and go to anywhere in the county to stay? Would they know where these parks are? How do they advertise these parks? For accessibility knowledge, is this something we advertise these parks for? I mean, I can't see why somebody would come here from California or Minnesota and say, I'm going to go to a park. I just don't do that on vacation. I just don't see that draw for that.
I agree 100%.
Same. How are they listed on the city website? Are they considered neighborhood parks? Or are they considered like a regional park?
Were they built what they do a special tax assessment or something in Cape Coral, where they built all these extra parks? That's where it's being funded from?
The Go Bond.
Okay, so they've been, but that was voted on as a neighborhood park at the time?
So J.C. Park was not a Go Bond park. That was actually funded by the council a year ago. And that was funded with our city
Are they
fund.
surrounded by neighborhoods? Some of the parks I know they're surrounded by neighborhoods.
Most of our parks are surrounded by neighborhoods, but they have access points. Like Yellow Fever Creek, is not. Yellow Fever Creek, you can come off of 75, get to 41, get on Del Prado, and it's right there. It's really close to 41, coming off Del Prado. J.C. Park, you'd have to come over either the Midway Bridge or the Cape Coral Bridge and head up Del Prado and head down Beach Parkway. So you'd have to do that to get to that property. And then Tropicana Park is on the spreader, so you'd have to go pretty much across, if you're coming off of 75 or 41, across the city and then get onto Burnt Store Road. And it's right there. It's actually in sort of a neighborhood, but the spreader is where we have a kayak launch and all that stuff. So yeah.
I've been in that one before. I just didn't know some of the other ones.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of a residential areas. I have friends that live in those areas, and I just can't see why you get up I-75 and go past 10 other regional parks and boardwalk parks and different nature preserves to go to that one park. I just don't see how you market that to reason for them to come down from Tampa for a staycation to go to that park. So,
And what hotels are near the parks? Are there any hotels near some of those parks, or?
I believe there's on Del Prado, there's what is it? Is it the Hilton, or is it? It's changed. I know we're building one that, I know there's one be planned near them. I can't really talk about it because that's in the city manager's office. Go ahead, Lucille.
Hi, I'm Lucille. I just want to kind of add into our capital projects that we put in for this year for the boardwalks, for eco, and for, I know we're on the maintenance, but these are some of the same parks. But we have the tourist impact numbers for eco and for Glover Bight. These nature centers for Rotary Park and such like that, these are huge tourism locations and destinations. We have all of the tourism impact numbers in our grants that we wrote for. We can pull you tourist impact numbers from Serena Vista, Tropicana, Crystal Lake that just came on board. So all of these new parks that came on board are tourist destinations. Just wanted to kind of put that out there. They're built for people to come. We also work very closely with the airport authority for the visit and tourism, and they have everyone coming in and seeing our parks. So we have partnered with Lee County Lee County. So I just wanted to let you know that we do all of this in partnership with Lee County Tourism. Rotary Park even has funding from Lee County Tourism for the Butterfly Garden. So I just wanted to put that out there.
So let me ask another.
And we don't have a lot of hotels in Cape Coral. So,
Let me ask another question. Every month, there was a presentation that we get on the city of Cape Coral, and they use Pacer AI and give us numbers. Is that done in the park, so we know who's actually utilizing those parks?
yes,
And how can we get that?
I can get you that next week, this week, tomorrow. We can pull all of those numbers for you. For instance, we work with Lee County Sports and Tourism as well. Cape Coral's brand new pickleball court and tennis courts. We brought in the numbers for that. We had over 7,000 tourist visitors in 5 days. So these are destinations that we're bringing people in, and we can get you that information.
But that's a P3, right? So it's not eligible for funding through this program?
It is actually not a P3. We have a management company that manages for the city, so it is a city-funded.
Would not be eligible for
But
these
it
ones
wouldn't be
because of
eligible.
that, right?
Right, it wouldn't be eligible because of that.
Right, it's not, you're right.
Publicly owned and operated, and because of that,
Right.
correct.
So, but we can definitely get you that information from Placer AI.
My heartburn, I'll just go on the record, is Cape Coral's asking for more than we got budgeted
Overall, yeah.
When you look at overall,
and I don't know that the guest coming down from Chicago is saying, I'm coming flying down to go to Cape Coral or J.C. Park. So I've
I think a lot
got
of-
300 employees at my resort. I've asked, 70% live in Cape Coral. I asked everybody today at my all-associate luncheon, none of them.
They don't recommend it, yeah.
No.
You know, I think that there's three really big issues here. We have been talking, I'm going to say for at least 15 years, about, capital expenses, building new things, and then having to maintain them. And that has been actually Rob's the one that brought it up many years ago, originally, that it was something that was very, very important for us to pay attention to. So that's the first thing. The other thing is, do we need to separate the nature center parks, from before our other even discussion, which is Rotary, Glover, 4 Mile, and I forget which other ones. But so separate from whether we decide that some of this maintenance makes sense or not. So this is a pretty big issue on this one.
so I have a question for Nancy, if you don't mind, real quick.
Yeah, no.
On the division that you've done, because the request was for 798, 769, right? 161, 942 is ineligible.
There's 2 parks in that 161 that they're stating are opening,
Soon.
Next
but they're-
week.
But they're not open.
and they're beach and shoreline facilities.
Okay,
And then the third column is beach and shoreline eligible, historically,
Right.
Crystal Lake, Serena Vista Yacht Club, 4 Mile, or not 4 Mile, I guess. And then the last column are the nature parks.
so that's already been divided
Yes.
out, so that 413 is what's eligible for beach and shoreline.
Unless you pull those 2 parks that are opening next month over,
Okay.
which is only, I figured,
I've got it for you if you need it. Tropicana was 29,494, and JC was 14,394.
$43,889 would be
The combined?
possibly eligible if you want to pull it over.
And that is a huge, as you pointed out, Bill, a huge increase from past years. So that was my third thing. I couldn't remember what it was.
What makes it tough for me is I'm extremely happy to see the Cape is finally requesting the money, but it looks like we're trying to request all the money we didn't request over the last 10 years at once. But I'm extremely happy that the requests are out there, and that we're starting to get involved, because that hasn't always been the case.
No, and I think you're right that a lot of it has to do with having the numbers and being able to
Yeah.
verify. So the market.
We did request clarification, that was put in your, the Dropbox folder on the neighborhood parks that were listed in the request, because they wanted to share equipment that they were requesting from TDC in this request, and they are not funded, but I think the intent was to perhaps share equipment. And Andrea, I mean, the county attorney said, those parks are not eligible. They're smaller neighborhood. Yeah.
Nancy, if you already got it laid out here, it looks like it's 223,000 is not eligible. So you basically need motion or consensus to accept the 413, is what staff's recommending?
Well, yes, I mean,
I just can't see why fund something that's not built yet. I mean, I would, if it was a county thing, I wouldn't build it if I couldn't fund it the first year. If it's not open yet, why fund it the first year? How do you know what the maintenance costs will be? Right. Well, they know because they're projecting how many staff's going to man and staff it, how much grass they're going to cut and maintain it.
We did fund a restroom.
If it's not open yet, why?
And a boardwalk at JC that just finished. They just finished them.
Right.
And you did that current cycle, which was quick. They finished them quick.
It's up to the members of the council here what they want to do consensus-wise.
for me, I'm comfortable if we move the, which is already done in this spreadsheet up here, the nature center out. I think nature centers have to be dealt with separately. They can't come out of beach and shoreline, even if we wanted to. It's against county ordinance and state statute. So they have to be dealt with separately. And, you know, the open parks, I can't wait to see them open, and once they're open and they're up and running, I'd love to fund them at that point. I don't know if we can do it now, even though the funding doesn't go in till after they're supposed to be open. But without picking on any one municipality, because I see it from all of them, just because we say we're going to open something on a certain day doesn't mean it's going to open on that day. And I'm not going to single anyone out, because we've all seen it.
I don't have an issue moving the 413. That's still $150,000 more than the last 11 years. So, I mean.
I'm good with the 413, but I just know at the end of the day, we're still over by about 300,000 that we're gonna have to cut somewhere from the beach and shoreline number. But I don't think it's this project, but I think there's others down the way that make more sense to remove some money from. So I'm good at the 413.
382.
382.
And 20 cents.
Is it 20 cents?
No,
I missed the
it's
20
not,
cents.
it's not, it's not.
So you wanna
There's
leave
no
it?
change on it.
You're leaving the full 161 ineligible.
I don't want to move something over until we've heard everybody say that number you said you're down.
I'm good with that.
Okay. Just want to make sure we were listening to each of you.
So at the last column, the nature center related ones, you want to,
I think that needs to be tabled for a discussion about nature centers as a whole. We can't piece it together because it is a completely separate bucket that we don't have in this county. You know, and if we're going to start pulling from reserves, we need to look at a whole. I'm not comfortable taking a third of our reserves and building things new that need maintenance on them, and we're heading into storm season. I mean, I still remember Ian, I remember Charlie. I mean, there's things out there that we don't know what's coming. Then that's what we've used reserves for, is we've used it for getting, recovering from storms. We used it on blue-green algae. We used it to buy a piece of equipment to get the fish off the beach. You know, those are the things that reserves are for, unexpected expenses. And those are the things that we need to be prepared for. And I don't want to put us in a position we can't respond to those emergencies when they happen.
So I think what you're saying is that you think that we should take the nature center
I don't think we can
totally
fund it.
separate with
Yeah.
all of them.
that's
Agree.
$12.8 million.
I don't think we can fund that today because it's not in, this is beach and shoreline, not nature center funding. And the way that the ordinance reads on the county level, and Andrea can correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have an ordinance or funding mechanism for nature centers.
It is not in the ordinance.
So, you know, it's a bigger discussion than what we can have here today. 'Cause unless I missed the memo, I don't have the power to pass an ordinance in the county. I don't think so.
Commission action. I think your challenge at the end of the day is, if you build it, then they're gonna ask for the maintenance dollars. And I think, I think this is what the municipalities need to hear, right? These nature parks, we don't have a funding mechanism for nature parks in Lee County. And so if you ask us for reserves to build them, and then you're coming back and asking for the dollars to maintain them, you're asking for us to continue to fund that maintenance out of reserves, and is that a realistic funding mechanism to support a facility that you're going to be responsible for? I mean, I'm trying to be objective here. We don't have that funding mechanism for that within our current structure. Now, the county commission wants to have a different discussion and a different allocation of tourist tax. That's a whole different conversation, but you're doing it backward. Like, there's not a conversation around building nature facilities before we're trying to fund nature facilities. And so I'm trying to be fair in the way, I'm just making sure the TDC and the requesting agencies understand why there's consternation around this table, because you're asking for capital dollars, and then immediately the next year asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars of extra maintenance funds to take care of those projects that we just funded from reserves so that you could get these facilities for your community. And so I think it's a very delicate balance, and I hope.
I understand what you're saying. I just want to make a clarification.
That's what I was saying.
It's not on you.
I just want to make a clarification, though. I know, I get it. I want to just make a clarification, though. Yellow Fever Creek is built. We just have to get it opened. Tropicana Park is almost done. It just needs to be opened. And JC Park we just had our walkthrough with the media. If you saw it on Wink News yesterday, go look at it. It is built. We're in substantial completion. So all these are built. For Yellow Fever Creek, and I understand the whole nature preserve conversation, but it is built. We just have to tidy up some things that the contractor didn't do. So.
Understood. Thank you. And please know nobody's picking on you.
I know. We opened up a can of worms.
You're
You're the first on the list.
I know, I see it. I can comprehend it all. Thank you very much.
And I know they're going to go back. Jay picked on the Cape, but.
I just want to echo what Jay said. I mean, based on the last 7 years, we need reserves because you never know what curveball you're going to get. And that's kind of how, with our town, that's how I look at our reserves. It's for perpetually another stuff.
Don't build it if you can't maintain it.
Yeah, the memo, should we be reading what Holly wrote for the meeting, or, right now, I think we're right on.
Just for information, and if the public wants to see it, we have a TDC member that provided her notes on the requests just this morning. So there's copies if you'd like to see it.
We're pretty much so far.
Yeah.
So after that all discussion, I think I'm comfortable with the 413, 382, and going to Sanibel next.
I think we all said yes. Scott, I think you said yes. You're comfortable?
413,
It's moved over.
382,
I think.
I think.
Maybe even just a little.
Well, I can read it up there.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's easier on this one. That one's just a little blurry to me, but
Yeah, that one, yes.
yeah, you're correct. It's easier on the clean screen
That's the one
rather than the projector. All right, so we're
Of
going to
all
move
the-
on to Sanibel then?
I've got that in 4 different places. I'm still looking at the TV.
Okay, we're moving on.
Yes, please.
City of Sanibel Beach Park
Thank you.
operations, $2,110,000.
I couldn't find it. I saw the shade structures are not eligible, but I couldn't find.
He didn't request funding for shade structure.
Oh, okay.
It was a paragraph about all the things they have in their parks.
Okay, thank you.
Portion of this would require legislative finding, which we would handle at the
Is that the 110,000 for
TDC
the
meeting?
vehicle and the dump?
So the shade, I had the same problem as Pam, so
It's
the
not
shade's not in there.
It's not
Not in
Okay.
any of the
I
buckets.
I had that, I couldn't find it.
I looked, like, I kept going back. So the only thing that we need to, like, find a funding for is the 110,000 for the vehicles and the dump truck, or the dump bed, I guess. on
Right.
that one.
Does anybody have any questions? I think the city is here.
I can answer the shade structure. Yeah, there's no request for. Scott Croslick, City of Sanibel. We just listed the shade structure as an amenity in the park, but we're not asking, there's no funding request for replacement shade structure. It's just in the general description.
Those are some of the words that make us start digging. That and
Yes.
that and boardwalk, and there's other ones too.
But it's a tourist amenity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boat.
Boat, yes. Picnic bench.
I didn't have an
I have
issue.
no issue moving it over.
Had no issue there.
We good with that? Move it over?
Okay, the next request is from the town of Fort Myers Beach for their beach and shoreline funding program, $1,151,415. There was a small portion ineligible, and then there was some amenities at the Mound House, which is considered under the other portion of the ordinance.
So as I read through, I didn't have any issues here. I found, make sure, number 7.
So what,
Just on
Yeah,
the
number
boat,
7.
yeah, there was a conversation about the boat dock that's,
At the Mound House.
we don't,
okay,
It was just $1,000.
we don't do,
we don't do that.
we don't fund boat ramps or docks. Sometimes I think the confusion lies in this part that's eligible through nature centers relates to the Clusa Blue Way. There's a kayak launch there. The Clusa Blue Way was once funded through Beach and Shoreline. It no longer is. It's now in this nature center bucket. So that's the piece that was pulled out,
Okay,
maintenance of those amenities.
so after going through it, I was good with the 879, 108, and leaving that 271, 307 where it is in the nature center area that we're unable to fund through Beach and Shoreline.
I agree.
I'm fine with it, but Nancy, I have a note, and I'm sorry. My note's cryptic. It says launch $50,000. What is that? Is that like, did I make something up?
They, I believe they included the cost of repairing the launch at the Mound House. I don't know, is anybody from the town here?
And that's okay? Because we only took 1,000 out, right?
Good afternoon. Frankie Kropacek with the town of Fort Myers Beach. Yes, that $50,000 is to repair a launch that has been operable but not safely operable since Ian.
So it's not funding you're requesting, you've already done it?
We've done some of the repair to get it to go, but we need funding to put it back to its original state. I believe that ties right into the Blue Way.
So is that in,
Yeah, it's right here.
It must be.
It's right here.
Somebody has a note on it.
Under repairs and
Yeah,
maintenance,
it's 50.
50,000.
yep, I got it. So is that portion
Is that
falls under
eligible?
that falls under the
Yes.
nature center?
271.
That's in the 271.
Yeah, it's in the, yep, that's in the nature center. So we can't fund it out of Beach and Shoreline anyway.
Correct.
Okay.
So is everyone comfortable with the amount in the beach and shoreline column?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Thank you. Okay, the next request is from the Friends of Lovers Key for beach and shoreline maintenance and some signage. There was a chunk that was ineligible, and the total eligible is $46,930.
I had no comments on that one. It was good.
I have no issues. moving it over, the 46,930.
Pam?
No, I'm great.
You can move it over. Okay, the next request is from Lee County Beautiful for their coastal clean sweep project, $10,000.
100% yes.
Gotta love those modest requests. And then, are they one of the ones that also are looking for like not to increase it, just be easier?
They do a great job keeping
Yeah,
Lee County
I'm great,
beautiful.
I am
and-
great with that, with all four
From the
thousand.
golf tournament yesterday, it's going to be a gateway October 23rd for the Keep Lee County Beautiful. Not plantation this year, it'll be a gateway this year.
Yep, they do,
So, yeah, so.
they do things almost every weekend, and it's a
I
pleasure to fund
100%
it.
says there, because we make sure we're good.
Yep.
All right?
Okay, the next request is from Lee County Facilities Construction and Management for beachfront park maintenance. There was a portion that was ineligible. The total beach and shoreline eligible is $64,889.
I had no issues with the 64,889.
And so if I understand right, the only thing eligible is a parking lot repair? If I'm reading this, if I'm on the right one, number 10, right?
Yeah. Any questions?
No, I'm good. I'm good with that.
Are we good?
I'm good.
Let's move that beach and shoreline number over. Okay, the next request is for Lee County Parks and Recreation. Amount for beach and shoreline is $2,709,550.
And 50,000 of this is where we need a legislative finding, right, for the vehicles for both the Grand and Bonita Beach?
Yeah. You'll always be asked to make a legislative finding on
I just wanted to make
vehicles.
sure that I had the number right.
Yeah.
I'm good moving this
I'm-
2,709,550.
Same.
The next request is for Lee County Parks and Recreation, temporary, am I on the right one? Yeah, temporary restroom facilities for beach parks. These are the facilities until we get restrooms back at Bowditch and Lynn Hall and Crescent. Probably the Causeway, am I right, Kathy?
So I had a question on this. I don't know if Max or someone from
Kathy's here.
Kathy's here. It probably small in the.
Kathy Loomis, Lee County Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Kathy. So the question I had on the restrooms, I know some of them are coming back online early '27. And this request, do you take that into account, or did you just do like we have them the full year?
We're keep taking that into account. We're only going to use those until we get it rebuilt on all of these.
But that number, does that include full year, assuming that they don't come back, or did you prorate it?
Susan? Yeah, come on up. She's my fiscal aide.
Sorry, we funded a lot of restrooms through here since the hurricane.
Susan Lake of Lee County Parks and Recreation. We took into account the current estimated completion of these locations, and out of the Bowditch Point and Lynn Hall is funded for 8 months, based on when we think that we are removing the temporary restrooms from there. The rest of them, Causeway, Little Hickory, and Bonita Beach Park, are funded for a full year.
And on that same note, does it look like that truly is a good number, like they really will be finished within a year, like the permanent restrooms will be finished within a year?
Ashley, we hope.
That's,
yes, yes, that is.
Yeah. You know, sometimes we get very optimistic.
Yes.
And so that's a really real.
I think it's realistic.
And at the same time, we
Yes.
left the other ones at 12 months. And if they do get finished early, we obviously get rid of these temporary restrooms, and we are not paying for them full year if we don't need them.
But the funding cycle goes through September, and it says fall, so assuming it's somewhere around the end anyway.
So then it would go back to reserves.
Right. Okay.
We'll stay up here because the next ones are.
I have no issue moving the 240, 880.
I'm good.
Clean restrooms, good thing.
Yes.
The next request is from Lee County Parks and Rec Emergency Beach Cleanup, $200,000.
So-
Maybe,
I have a question.
Well,
Same question, I bet.
This is like on a sunny day taking an umbrella out. Bad luck happens.
we've been doing it forever.
Yes.
I mean,
But it's
I mean-
Florida, you should take it.
but if it happens, we're just gonna do an emergency funding, right? Out of reserves.
Correct.
I'd rather,
Quite frankly, we've been carrying those funds over for a few years. I mean, it's probably.
What's the balance?
Yes, we'd have to ask Parks and
Yeah.
Rec to tell us the
Yes.
exact balance, but.
Yeah, we have not spent any this year, so we don't need the 200,000. We budget it every single year. By the grace of God, we have not had to use it this year at all.
So I
Yeah,
say, let's zero this one out.
I'd zero it out.
$200,000, we're halfway there.
I'd zero it out, and if you put it in, I bet you it'd be bad luck.
Thank you.
Someone make sure we keep a note of this.
Bad luck is if you open an umbrella in
Okay.
the house.
Okay, the next request is Lee County Transit for the Fort Myers Beach tram service for next year, $237,540.
Well, our number one complaint was traffic, and we don't fund this. It's gonna be a lot worse, so I recommend moving it over. Yeah, the last day.
And there's 100% match.
And because, you got your hotel, but there's so many more Airbnbs and VRBOs, so our visitors are spread out more on the island.
Yep.
So it's been great.
Yeah, I'd move it over.
So I agree with moving. I had a question. It was on ridership. Do we need to expand at all how long that goes? I know I'm opening a can of worms that no one wants.
One ask would be maybe a greater length, but it goes from the library down to this.
It's about it.
So it may be.
Oh, further distance? There's further distance?
Are you talking distance? I was talking dates, but
Yeah.
we got answers coming.
Good afternoon, Dominic Gemelli with Lee Tran, and Kelly Fernandez is here with me today too. We want to first of all thank the board here for all the support we've gotten over the years, the capital purchases that we're able to make to really update our fleet of trams. And beyond that, we're talking about expansion, right? So we know that we went from Hurricane Ian to a year of really no tourism at all, really, and then we slowly came back. The year after, we ran one tram, then we ran 3 trams, then we just ran 3 trams again this year. We showed about a 36% increase in ridership this year over last year, so they're definitely seeing a comeback, right, on the beach for our visitors, obviously. So this is probably the last year of our funding from the Federal Department of Transportation for this particular grant. So we are going to have to come up with a new route for the tram. And in that, with the new equipment that we were able to purchase, we have that ability now to go further down the beach to places like potentially Santini Plaza for a turnaround to come back down. How well that's going to work, with timing and whatnot and frequency, we could determine if we can continue to run 3 trams or if we would need a 4th tram. But that would be something that we'd apply with for not this year, but that we're applying for next season, but for the season after. But there is definitely the opportunity there for us to create a longer route that could cover more of the beach, hit more of those Airbnbs, those hotels that may be becoming redeveloped down the street that are a little further down, but beyond Diamond Head and whatnot. So there's definitely some opportunity there when it comes to our next grant season, which is actually a year from right now.
Dominic, I would say that the number one thing that we're hearing both from the hotel side or the accommodation side and the visitor side is there's not as much availability of restaurants and things on the south end. They need more, they probably would be very grateful to have a tram they can ride, have dinner, have a few cocktails, and not have to drive back to the south end. So I think there's a legitimate, probably need for an extension. I just know that, everybody's got to get used to that.
Is there a way that you have one tram running from Santini down to the library, and that's there, and then the other 2 trams do the inner
Sure, we can set up the routes, whatever we feel would best suit the needs of the beach area. We certainly could.
There's so many more condos opening up and more Airbnbs down on the south end. And as, I think there's going to be maybe 2 or 3 restaurants next year.
Yeah.
So there is a great need for those people. And we'd rather have them come here than go to Collier County, obviously. So keep them on the beach as much as we can.
So since there's no fee, how do you do head count?
Oh, we have someone there that marks everybody that gets on. Yeah, yeah, we broke just over 100.
Old-fashioned way, a clicker.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that. We actually, this year we did test a tablet where we actually have a program where we set up where our tram attendant was able just to tap a tablet and do it. But we backed it up with paper because we want to make sure the calibration is right. So we were just over 100,000 riders this season.
Or you might have one of those things that you have to walk through.
A turnstile?
Are you planning on being open again by sand salting? Because those trams are packed during sand salting.
Yeah, we're there for sand sculpting. We do island hopper. We did island hopper out at Captiva for the first time, and I'll tell you what, we had almost 900 riders in that weekend on that one tram on Captiva. I mean, it's great. It was brand new to Captiva, so it was the shiny new thing out there, and it really went over well.
No, this is a great partnership, obviously. This is a good example of, one org that we talk about it within the county departments working together. I think it's good for them, and it's certainly good for the visitors. So, we want to continue to build on what the successes we're finding. But I do think demand is doing this.
It's slowly coming back. I mean, our goal obviously is to get back to the pre-Ian year, which was our best year ever.
For context, what would that number be?
It was high. It was
388,000.
It was high. It was very, very high. Yeah, 388,000.
Reminds us that we still have a ways to go.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was nice that, we were 50% up the year before. This year, we're up another 37%, 36%. So we're trending in the right direction. As that recovery and as that redevelopment happens, we'll get to see more and more ridership.
Awesome.
I'm on.
Any other questions? How are you about moving those funds over?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, how do our beach guys feel about that? Thank you, Lee Tran.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
The next request is from Lovers Key State Park for beach park maintenance, $95,000.
I have a question. Why has there been no funding since 2021? Has it not been?
Katie? Historically, yeah.
I mean, just hasn't been a request, hasn't been a need. I just thought that was unusual.
Hello. Hi, Katie Moses, Lovers Key State Park. We were fortunate that the majority of our hurricane repairs were covered by the state and through FEMA. So instead of asking for money from this funds, we were able to do almost everything.
Which I love. We're, of course, very thankful because it means, other things can be funded. I was just very curious.
Yeah, so now we're kind of getting back into the normal. Visitation is picking up. So we're just asking for a little extra support.
Great. I'm good with the 95.
I'm good.
Me too.
Thank you.
Okay, the next several requests.
Oh, this one was my easiest read.
There's one, the first 16 was ineligible, but the next 17 through 20 were nature center focused. So you want to pass
I'm going
it.
to stick with what I said earlier. I don't feel comfortable funding nature centers until we have the mechanism to properly fund nature centers.
Well, you don't have any money.
Thank you. Right, I mean, the money's not there.
Okay, so we're going to move down to number 21, Albatross Beach Access, the town of Fort Myers Beach. 26, 267, I forgot my glasses. I'm sorry?
Well, for me, if Andrea and the legal department determine it's nature center, I'm not going to say it's not nature center. That would be a discussion with the legal department, but if they say it's a nature center, I'm not going to vote against legal advice.
This is, again, the 4 Mile Cove is a good example of a project that was funded by the TDC through the Beach and Shrine Program many, 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 many years ago. But the language in the statute and the Attorney General opinion changed, and boardwalks now are in that other bucket, correct?
So if it's a boardwalk, it automatically goes to right. For purposes of nature center, there is an attorney general opinion out there that classifies it as nature center. I'm not going to object to it or tell them they're wrong. I just follow the opinion, put it in that bucket. That does not mean
It can never be funded. It's illegal to be funded. It's just in that particular category to be able to fund it, right? So that's all it is. That's how you can fund it. You can't fund like a boat dock regularly, but if it's in a nature center, fund it. So.
And I think our other challenge right now is we're not flush with cash, so, I mean, we're down to what, 1.7 now?
Yes.
You are correct.
And I understand your frustration, but I'm not going to go against legal advice.
No, I just understand if a boardwalk is just a boardwalk over the water, how it's, I understand.
Yeah, that's a Tallahassee phone call. So,
Are we ready to look at 21, Albatross Beach access? Town of Fort Myers Beach, 26,286.
I have no issue here. This is a beach access between two hotels, so this is between Gullwing and Point Estero.
Oh, good, I was
Oh, good.
because I was not familiar with that.
I had the same question. I asked how many tourists for snowbirds.
I drove down to look at
Okay,
it.
well, Bill's here.
It's on the south end, and, again, there's more and more tourists down there, and with the Wyndham not being open under construction, it's
And they're saying it should be done very soon, right?
yeah.
Wyndham.
May of 26.
But the beach access is open and
It's open.
it's open to be used.
Yeah.
It's just, it's better safe than sorry.
Yep,
I'm good.
I'm good there.
Okay, we're going to go to number 23, Bonita Beach accesses 2-9. This is the Lee County Parks and Recreation. 1.185 million.
Once this is done, what's the ongoing maintenance on this? Because this is a capital project as opposed to a maintenance request, right? I mean, I think this is capital.
Yeah, it is. But they're not new beach accesses. They're
So this is replacing what was prior to.
parking lot and landscape improvements in the accesses 2 through 9.
Kathy Loomis, Parks and Recreation. This is recovering from the hurricane. The maintenance is all our maintenance guys will be taking over all that, so there's no extra cost on maintaining all this.
So the maintenance is already in your request further up, or is it?
We operate, that's all maintained by us, so there's no extra cost. We won't be asking for more.
Yeah, I did notice there's no previous funding and none in the future, so.
In fairness, there has been maintenance expense, beach and shoreline maintenance expenses for those accesses in the past. But this is specific improvements to get those accesses back in shape,
So
right?
this
Just so
is
that
a-
we are using the same language.
Right, so it's a one-time
Right.
improvement, and the ongoing maintenance
Is covered
is covered further up.
Under,
What is that number?
Your operations,
11.
You guys.
Item 11.
On 11, okay.
So if you had to pull $137,000 and $137,054 out of those two, could you do it?
Now say that again.
So if we fund both of those completely, we're going to be 1,100, what, one?
We're $137,054 over.
Can we do it, or can we not do that?
honestly, we are cut so tight, I don't know where we come up with the funds right now.
All right, which one do you not want approved?
Both of them. Come on, Bill.
Remember that the 12.9 is an estimate.
I'm trying to help her.
I know. I'm going to be the voice of reason here.
If I could, if we fully fund those, and then go back to number one, which is the 4 million, and we pull the 137,000 Bill's number out from that bucket that we already have funds in, is that probably the safest bet?
Steve's nodding his head yes, so I'm good with that then.
I mean, not, sorry, Steve, but it just,
Gosh, thanks, Steve.
but I'm just looking how we can.
That's your savings account,
Right.
remember, at the end of the day.
That's cool.
So if we do that and we fund this and go back up top, so if we fund those two, and go ahead and fund that, and we go up top and take 137,054 out.
Let's do that now.
You gotta do your equal sign, otherwise it's not gonna work.
Gotta get her eyes on.
I don't have all the fancy AI and tools that they have at the Pink Show. I still do stuff on pen and paper.
You can do Excel, huh?
And 54,
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm still pen and paper and Excel. So there we go. So as we finish that, it looks like we have funded,
But we haven't finished part, we've got one more.
no, we did the last one. Yeah,
Those were the last two.
those were the last two. We said fund
Oh,
both of them.
I see, I'm sorry.
Everything
Okay,
else
you
is
were putting
nature
those two together, okay.
Yep, everything else was Nature Center, and
Oh, yeah, this is.
so
Did we balance?
So
I think-
did
yes.
we each buy?
we balanced.
Yep.
Wait a minute, something's not right.
No.
All right,
Recommendation.
Oh, okay.
balanced.
I think you're.
I'm reading the wrong one. Yes, I was.
Yep,
Sorry.
that's what we were doing.
Perfect.
That's what we were doing.
Well done, gentlemen, ladies.
Hey.
Good job.
Is there any other questions? There's your sheet. These recommendations will be brought to the full TDC for approval in May. Before you approve them, you'll need to do a lot of legislative findings.
And we'll have a list.
Yeah, it'll be presented, yeah, like it always is.
Yes.
For staff purposes, because there are people in this audience that are falling into this other column that are going to be asking us, how do you as a board want to proceed or would like to recommend we proceed with that conversation?
For the Nature Center?
So, go ahead, Bill. You want to be first, or? And I think before we can proceed, we need to have a discussion with the full TDC, and not just the four of us that are here today.
Correct.
And figure out how we move forward on that. Because in order to fund it, we need,
Reserves.
but yeah, either have to attack reserves, or we need to look at how we divide up the bed tax. Because right now, it's already divided between the bond on the stadiums, with the marketing, and then the beach and shoreline. So that becomes a question, do we want to change that, which I don't know if I'm fond of, but that's a discussion, or find another way to fund. And then that would take a county ordinance to do.
You were correct.
Which again,
All of those things, and, obviously, that's at the end of the day, a recommendation from TDC to the county commission. I don't want to speak for the commissioner, but, I think those are big decisions, right? So at the end of the day, but I know that the people in the audience that have funds that are in that column are very much interested in moving those projects
I would
forward.
be.
Yes.
I would be if there was me.
Yes.
Would this be on our agenda then for the next TDC?
Well, that was what I was going to suggest to you. Do you want to have that conversation at the May TDC meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Then we will make a recommendation to the chairman that we include that as a
Is it a discussion point?
discussion at the May TDC meeting.
Okay. I don't know that we come up with an answer, maybe, but at least we start that discussion.
I think we need to land somewhere, because obviously these funds, you know, there's a budget cycle, and we want to make sure that we address these things in the budget cycle. And I mean, you know, this affects several municipalities and Lake County parks facilities as well. So I don't want to, you know, take this lightly. We need to get on something with
I
it.
think it's important, but I also think that at this pace, the reserves are going to be gone in 3 years, and we don't have anything.
And we have no way to maintain these. My concern is, how are these projects going to get maintained? If the reserve funds are the way we're funding them, and the reserve funds are the way we're using the maintenance, when the reserves are gone, how are we going to maintain these projects? That is the biggest question.
And when the reserves are gone and we get the next curveball that comes our way, which we can list years of multiple, what do we do?
And the same requesting agencies are going to be requesting funds.
Exactly.
So, you know, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And it doesn't mean that they're not good projects. It is this the appropriate funding mechanism for these projects? And that becomes your question. So I think, yeah, no. Look, it's like everything in the world. We got more demand than we have cash for. And how do we figure that out? How do we balance all those needs out? And, you know, the challenge is, you're talking about either A, cutting beach and shoreline funds, or you're cutting marketing. That's your choice. So if you cut the beach and shoreline funds, we're cutting the funds that the same agencies are requesting, and they're using every dollar of this year, and then some.
I have the same conversation with my kids.
Yes, it's just like your budget at home. If the budget is what the budget is, and so you're trying to put, you know, as my dad would say, a 50-pound bowling ball in a 25-pound bowling ball bag. Who has a 50-pound bowling ball? Nobody.
I heard it a differently way.
Yes.
Not appropriate for this meeting.
Yes, correct. Yeah, but the point is, you're trying to do more than you have the capacity to do, and so something has to give. So we need to, as an organization, we've got to figure that out, or they're going to have to identify other funding sources for that portion of their needs. I mean, tricky.
Well, and also if property tax gets.
Yeah. Please.
Only one thing at a time.
Is there a way to turn his mic off?
Well, thank you, and to the requesting agencies, thank you very much. We know that's, you know, this is an inordinate amount of work. Commissioner, I'll let you decide if you want.
Well, kind of like what Tamara said, it'd be nice if we could say yes to everything. Obviously, we all go to work every day, and whatever organization we're with, cities or counties, and wish we could fund everything that want list, but unfortunately, there's never enough money to do everything. Get by and get through each year. Do you have anything else?
Sure.
Okay. Any other discussions, comments? Okay, well, adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you.